Now time for our official inauguration session. Today's event would be inaugurated by Honorable Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, Shri Jairam Thakurji, and Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayanji. A veteran and amiable politician, Shri Jairam Thakurji is a 14th and the current Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh. He is a fifth-time MLA in Himachal Pradesh Assembly, winning continuously since 1998, and has previously served as a cabinet minister in the BJP government of Himachal Pradesh. He was a Minister of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj from 2009 to 2012. May we request the Honorable Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, Shri Jairam Thakurji, to deliver the inaugural address, please. Sir.
आज इस कार्यक्रम में हमारे साथ में टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से जुड़े एडवाइजर वीक्सपो इंडिया डॉक्टर एस.के. नारायण स्वामी जी, डेप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर कर्नाटका अश्वथ नारायण जी, सीईओ वीक्सपो इंडिया श्री विनोद कुमार जी, चीफ ऑपरेटिंग ऑफिसर श्री जयसन राजकुमार जी, और हमारे साथ इसमें जुड़े साथी कुमारन जी, सूर्यजीत जी, संद्राजीत जी, पांडिचेरी के पूर्व उप कुलपति श्री कुपुस्वामी जी, इसके अलावा ऑनलाइन इस कार्यक्रम में हमारे साथ जुड़े डॉक्टर सुजाता जी, श्री प्रसाद राव जी, नीप छोंकर जी, आश्रिता दास जी, माला शिव कुमार जी, सुश्री देवीकर जी। मुझे इस बात की प्रसन्नता है कि एक बहुत बढ़िया इनिशिएटिव इस कोविड-19 के इस दौर में भी मुझे लगता है मेरी आवाज आप तक आ रही है, ठीक तरह से आ रही है?
अरे जी, आ रहे
मुझे इस बात की प्रसन्नता है कि कोविड-19 के इस दौर में आपने इस कार्यक्रम का आयोजन इस प्रकार से टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से जुड़ करके जो किया, ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। मैं आयोजन करने के लिए, इस आयोजन के लिए सभी को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। और जहां तक आज के इस कार्यक्रम में हमारे साथ जो सारे शिक्षाविद जुड़े हुए हैं, जो शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में बहुत बेहतरीन काम कर रहे हैं, उनका भी मैं अभिनंदन करता हूं। आप लोगों ने समय निकाला और मुझे इस बात की भी प्रसन्नता है कि जो वीक्सपो इंडिया 2020 में वर्चुअली आप सबके साथ जुड़ करके जो इस कार्यक्रम का आयोजन के लिए जो इनिशिएटिव लिया, उसके लिए मैं पूरी टीम को भी बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। और जहां तक मुझे जो जानकारी के रूप में मिली, मुझे इस बात को लेकर के भी बताते हुए हर्ष होता है कि वीक्सपो इंडिया 2020 का लक्ष्य शिक्षा जगत से जुड़े हुए लोगों और छात्रों के बेहतर भविष्य के लिए एक वैश्विक समुदाय का निर्माण करना है। यह समुदाय अवसरों, निरंतर संपर्क और ज्ञान के माध्यम से बेहतर भविष्य का निर्माण करेगा। भारत के सबसे बड़े विश्व शिक्षा कार्यक्रम वीक्सपो इंडिया ने कुछ बेहतरीन वैश्विक और भारतीय साझेदारों के साथ भागीदारी की है। इस कोविड महामारी के कारण वर्चुअल में संबोधित करने के लक्ष्य के साथ आगे बढ़ रहे हैं हम सब लोग, और उसमें वीक्सपो इंडिया की इस नई पहल से महामारी के इस अभूतपूर्व चुनौतीपूर्ण समय के दौरान भी हर बच्चे को शिक्षा के अवसरों की पहुंच सुनिश्चित करना और सीखना सुनिश्चित करना, ये मुझे लगता है कि एक बहुत बहुत बेहतर जो है वो एक प्रयास जो है वो आप सबके माध्यम से हो रहा है। और मुझे इस बात की भी प्रसन्नता है कि वैक्सपो इंडिया 100 से अधिक शिक्षकों, 5000 से अधिक संस्थागत नेताओं, 500 से अधिक कैंपस साथी स्कूलों, 100 से अधिक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय प्रधानाचार्यों, 30 से अधिक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय साझेदारों, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय वक्ताओं, विश्व प्रसिद्ध उद्योग विशेषज्ञों और बड़े पैमाने पर 50,000 छात्रों को अवसर प्रदान करने के लिए सहयोग दे रहा है। और इस बात को लेकर के भी मुझे हर्ष हो रहा है कि वैक्सपो इंडिया 2020 भारत का सबसे बड़ा वर्चुअल शैक्षणिक कार्यक्रम है। मुझे एक दो चीजों को लेकर के इसमें प्रमुख रूप से जो बात कहनी है कि भारत विश्व गुरु के नाम से भी जाना जाता है। यानी कि भारत की एक बहुत बड़ी सांस्कृतिक धरोहर है और जिस धरोहर को हम सब लोग जो है कई वर्षों से, सदियों से संजो करके रखे हुए हैं और उसको और मजबूती के साथ आगे बढ़ाने का काम आज की तारीख में हमारा नेतृत्व, केंद्रीय नेतृत्व कर रहा है। मुझे इस बात की भी प्रसन्नता है कि आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी इस बात को लेकर के हमेशा एक प्रयास करते थे कि शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में बहुत बड़ी जो संभावनाएं हमारे पास विद्यमान है, उन संभावनाओं के लिए ये आवश्यक है कि वर्तमान जो हमारी जो शिक्षा नीति है उसमें परिवर्तन करने की आवश्यकता है और ये परिवर्तन लगभग 32 वर्षों के बाद ये संभव हो पाया है। आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी के इस इनिशिएटिव पर मुझे इस बात की खुशी है कि हमारी नई शिक्षा नीति जो है वो जिसका अनुमोदन जो है 29 जुलाई 2020 को भारत सरकार ने किया और पूरे देश के लिए एक नई शुरुआत, नई पहल जो है उस दृष्टि से जो है सबके सामने रखी है। भारत में बहुत बड़ी संभावनाएं हैं शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में काम करने की और शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में भारत ने जो कंट्रीब्यूशन दिया है, अपना योगदान दिया है, उसको भी मैं कह सकता हूं कि वो अपना एक विश्व स्तर पर जो है बहुत बड़ा एक पहचान के साथ, एक योगदान के साथ आज भी स्मरण किया जाता है। हम दूसरे देशों में अगर बहुत सारे जो विकसित देश है, जो साधन में, सुविधा में हमसे बहुत आगे है, उन देशों में भी अगर हम देखें कि भारत के बहुत सारे, चाहे वो इंजीनियर्स हैं, डॉक्टर्स हैं, चाहे हम अमेरिका की बात करें, जर्मन की बात करें, फ्रांस की बात करें, रशिया की बात करें और बहुत सारे देशों में भारत का वैज्ञानिक, भारत का टीचर जो अच्छी पढ़ाई के साथ जो है आगे बढ़ा है, इंजीनियर, डॉक्टर, हर क्षेत्र में, हर देश में आपको जो है वो दुनिया में मिलेगा। इसलिए हम इस बात को कह रहे हैं क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ पर जो है वो साधन की कमी हो सकती है, सुविधा की कमी हो सकती है, लेकिन हमारे यहाँ पर ज्ञान की कमी नहीं है। इस बात को हमको बड़ा मान करके चलना चाहिए। और उस दृष्टि से जो खासतौर से अभी जो ये शिक्षा नीति हमारे सामने आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के इनिशिएटिव पर जो आई है, इस इनिशिएटिव के माध्यम से मैं समझता हूं कि एक बहुत बड़ा एक प्रयास जो हुआ है, उस प्रयास को हमको सार्थक दिशा में आगे बढ़ाने की आवश्यकता है। कोविड-19 एक बहुत बड़ी एक चुनौती हमारे सामने आज के इस दौर में है, लेकिन फिर भी उस बात को लेकर के हम कह सकते हैं, आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी 2014 में जब पहली बार देश के प्रधानमंत्री के इस दायित्व पर आए, तो 2-3 चीजों को लेकर के जो नए इनिशिएटिव्स उन्होंने देश के सामने रखे और उसमें चाहे वो जनधन खाते की बात कही ताकि हमारा सीधा जो लाभार्थी है उस तक सीधा संवाद, सीधा जो है हमारा जो पैसा उसको मदद करने के लिए रूप में देना है उसके अकाउंट में सीधा पहुंच जाए। और उसी तरह से दूसरी बात अगर उन्होंने कही, जो डिजिटल इंडिया का एक कॉन्सेप्ट दिया, और डिजिटल इंडिया का कॉन्सेप्ट का अभिप्राय है कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी में अपने आप को जोड़ते जाएं, क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजी का आज के इस युग में एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण योगदान है। अभी हम देख रहे हैं कोविड-19 के इस दौर में, लॉकडाउन से लेकर के अभी तक भी टेक्नोलॉजी एकमात्र माध्यम है हमारे पास जिस माध्यम से हम जो है विश्व के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, संवाद कर रहे हैं, ऑनलाइन क्लासेस चल रही है, बच्चे घर में जो है उसमें पढ़ रहे हैं। ये मुझे लगता है कि एक बहुत बड़ा एक कंट्रीब्यूशन आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी का है। हम अपने ही यहाँ पर देखते हैं, अगर ये टेक्नोलॉजी का हमने इस प्रकार से विस्तार नहीं किया होता तो हमारे लिए बहुत कठिन हो जाता, बहुत मुश्किल हो जाती। आज हम सारी जितने भी है देश के सभी मुख्यमंत्री के साथ प्रधानमंत्री जी वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस करते हैं, टेक्नोलॉजी से जुड़ करके हम सब लोग मिल करके चर्चा करते हैं, चर्चा करने के बाद निर्णय करते हैं, उसको लागू करते हैं पूरे देश भर में। देश का निर्णय टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से किस प्रकार से सरल और सहज हो गया, उसी प्रकार से कोविड से रिलेटेड जितने भी इश्यूज है उन सारी चीजों को लेकर के हिमाचल प्रदेश में भी हमने बहुत बेहतर ढंग से काम करने की कोशिश की है। कोविड-19 की इस महामारी में जहां हमको एक बहुत बड़ी चुनौती भी दी है, वहां स्वाभाविक रूप से हमें जो है एक अपॉर्चुनिटी भी दी है, अवसर भी दिया है, और उस अवसर का यही कि हम में जो कमियां हैं, हमारे यहाँ पर जो चीजों को लेकर के जो सोचा जा सकता है, जो किया जा सकता है, उसमें हम अपने स्तर पर अब सोचें। अवसर आ गया है, ये अवसर मौका है हमारे लिए, ताकि अपने पांव पर हम खड़े हो, आत्मनिर्भर भारत। उस दृष्टि से बहुत एक महत्वपूर्ण इस कोविड का ये दौरान जो रहा, हमको काम करने का एक अवसर है हमारे सामने, जिसके लिए हम सब लोग काम कर रहे हैं। आज मैं जहां देश और प्रदेश के लगभग सभी शैक्षणिक कार्यक्रम जो है वो वर्चुअल माध्यम से चल रहे हैं, ये भी मुझे लगता है कि उसी इसमें से जो है एक बहुत बड़ा योगदान है। जहां तक शिक्षा नीति के संदर्भ में मुझे इस बात को लेकर के आपके बीच में ये जरूर कहना है कि आप 32 साल के के पश्चात ये अवसर जो है हमारे सामने आया है, और उसमें 2019 में जो एक शुरुआत हुई थी कि श्री के कस्तूरी रंगन जी, उनकी अध्यक्षता में एक समिति का गठन किया गया था, और उस समिति का गठन करने के बाद उन्होंने बहुत सारे पूरे देश के जो शिक्षाविद हैं, शिक्षाविद और होने के साथ साथ में अन्य जो हमारे शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में जो काम करने वाले लोग हैं, जिनका बहुत बड़ा योगदान है, अनुभव है, उनके साथ मिलकर के इस शिक्षा नीति की बनाने की योजना आगे बढ़ाई। 2020 से पूर्व राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीतियों में शिक्षा संस्थानों की उपलब्धता व बच्चों के नामांकन पर मुख्यतः जोर दिया गया, जबकि राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 प्रत्येक व्यक्ति में निहित रचनात्मक क्षमताओं के विकास पर विशेष जोर देती है। यह नीति इस सिद्धांत पर आधारित है कि शिक्षा से न केवल साक्षरता और संख्या ज्ञान जैसे बुनियादी क्षमताओं के साथ साथ उच्चतर स्तर पर तकनीक और समस्या समाधान संबंधी संज्ञानात्मक क्षमताओं का भी विकास होना चाहिए, बल्कि नैतिक, सामाजिक और भावनात्मक स्तर पर भी व्यक्ति का विकास होना चाहिए। इसका उद्देश्य अच्छे इंसानों का विकास करना है और तर्क संगत विचार और कार्य करने में सक्षम हो। जिसमें जहां करुणा और सहानुभूति, साहस और जो है लचीलापन, वैज्ञानिक चिंतन और रचनात्मक कल्पना शक्ति, नैतिक मूल्य पर जो है वो ये आधारित है। राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 प्राचीन और सनातन भारतीय ज्ञान और विचार की समृद्ध परंपरा के आलोक में तैयार की गई है। यह शिक्षा नीति आधुनिक व लचीली है। यह सामाजिक, वैज्ञानिक, मनोवैज्ञानिक व शैक्षणिक कसौटियों पर खरी उतरती है। यह भारत की वैश्विक महाशक्ति बनने की हमारी आकांक्षाओं के अनुरूप है। राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति अपने विजन व कार्यान्वयन में आधुनिक और विद्यार्थियों की जो पढ़ने की क्षमता है, जो मेधा उनमें जो है वो उस खांचे में बांधने के बजाय उन्हें मुक्त आकाश देती है, उन्हें अपनी संभावनाओं को पूर्ण रूप से पाने के लिए प्रेरित करती है। राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 शिक्षा तंत्र पर सकल घरेलू उत्पाद का जो कुल 6% खर्च करने का लक्ष्य रखती है, जो पहले 4.43% रहता था, इसमें बढ़ोतरी की। शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में इसको लागू करने के लिए जो है एक बहुत बड़ी एक पहल हुई है। उस दृष्टि से मुझे इस बात की प्रसन्नता है कि एक बहुत बड़ा जो है बजट प्रोविजन भी इसमें जो है केंद्र सरकार की ओर से करने की दिशा में जो कदम उठाया गया है। नई शिक्षा नीति के माध्यम से शिक्षा प्रणाली ठोस समग्र विकास के साथ आधुनिक अनुसंधान व सर्वश्रेष्ठ प्रक्रियाओं के साथ नए भारत का निर्माण, भारत का मार्ग प्रशस्त करने वाली एक सराहनीय पहल है। जहां तक हिमाचल प्रदेश में, मैं इस बात को मैं जरूर कहूंगा कि हिमाचल प्रदेश छोटा प्रदेश है, लेकिन छोटे प्रदेश होने के बावजूद भी हिमाचल प्रदेश का कंट्रीब्यूशन शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में बहुत बेहतरीन है। और हम कह सकते हैं कि साक्षरता दर की अगर हम बात करें पूरे देश भर में, तो हिमाचल केरल के बाद दूसरे स्थान पर आता था। और आज की तारीख में अगर हम इसका नए सिरे से अगर सर्वेक्षण होता है तो हम केरल से पीछे नहीं, हम पूरे देश भर में मुझे लगता है कि हिमाचल का स्थान जो है वो पहले स्थान पर हो सकता है। ऐसी परिस्थिति में मैं आप सबको आज के इस आयोजन के लिए विशेष तौर से बधाई देता हूं। और इस आयोजन में आप सबने जो एक प्रयास किया है उसके लिए मैं आप सबके इस इनिशिएटिव का अभिनंदन करता हूं। मुझे इस बात की लेकर के भी प्रसन्नता है कि हिमाचल प्रदेश ने शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में बेहतर कार्य करने के लिए जो हमारा इंडिया टुडे का जो एक सर्वेक्षण होता है उसमें सर्वश्रेष्ठ राज्य के रूप में भी अभी हाल ही में जो है वो हिमाचल प्रदेश को उसमें चुना गया है। और उस दृष्टि से भी मैं कह सकता हूं, जहां हिमाचल प्रदेश का शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में काम करने की दृष्टि से जो प्रयत्न है, प्रयास है, उनको हम हमेशा जारी रखेंगे। और जो नई शिक्षा नीति है, मैं समझता हूं कि एक बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन हमारे देश के लिए, बहुत बड़ा योगदान हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी के इनिशिएटिव पर जो हमको प्राप्त हुआ है, इसको और ज्यादा आगे बढ़ाने की आवश्यकता है, ताकि इस शिक्षा नीति को जमीनी स्तर पर, नीचे के स्तर पर हम जो है वो जो पात्र लोग हैं वो सब लोग लाभान्वित हो सके और राष्ट्र का इसमें भला हो सके। मुझे लगता है कि ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण उस दृष्टि से है। और वर्तमान शिक्षा नीति में जो 10+2 के स्थान पर 5+3+4 की जो नई व्यवस्था पुनर्गठित करने की जो बात की गई है, जो कि बाल्यकाल में ज्ञान अर्जन करने के मनोविज्ञान पर जो है वो आधारित है। मुझे इस बात को लेकर के भी प्रसन्नता है कि जो पहले 5 वर्षों की पढ़ाई के लिए 3 से 8 वर्ष की आयु तक बच्चों को प्रारंभिक बाल्यावस्था देखभाल और शिक्षा, अर्ली जो चाइल्डहुड केयर एंड एजुकेशन तथा प्राथमिक शिक्षा की मजबूत बुनियाद प्रदान की जाएगी। 9 से 11 वर्ष की आयु में कक्षा 3 से 5 तक बालकों को आगामी पढ़ाई के लिए तैयार किया जाएगा। अगले 3 वर्षों में 11 से 14 माध्यमिक स्तर की शिक्षा प्रदान की जाएगी। स्कूली शिक्षा के अंतिम चरण में अगले 4 वर्षों की शिक्षा प्रदान की जाएगी, जिसमें व्यावसायिक एवं पारंपरिक विषयों को एक साथ पढ़ाया जाएगा। स्नातक स्तर की पढ़ाई 3 से 4 वर्ष की अवधि की होगी, जिसमें जो है संस्थाएं इस अवधि के भीतर बहु निकास के विकल्प को प्रदान करती है। तो ये कुल मिलाकर के ये जो नए इनिशिएटिव जो इसमें जो अब की बार जो इस नई शिक्षा नीति के माध्यम से जो शुरू होने वाले हैं, उनको हमको जमीनी स्तर पर जो है नीचे सहज रूप से, सरल रूप से जो है लोगों तक जो हमारे बच्चे हैं उनको पढ़ाने के लिए इसका लाभ मिल सके, ताकि ये आगे ठीक प्रकार से व्यवस्थित ढंग से ये इनिशिएटिव जो है सफलता की ओर आगे बढ़ सके। एक बार फिर से आज के इस कार्यक्रम में मैं आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं इस आयोजन के लिए। और मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि बहुत सारे लोगों ने इसमें अपनी बात कही होगी और बहुत सारे शिक्षाविद इसमें जुड़े हैं, और जिन लोगों ने अपने सुझावों के माध्यम से आने वाले समय में हम इस शिक्षा नीति को, नई शिक्षा नीति को किस प्रकार से प्रभावी ढंग से लागू कर सकते हैं, उस दृष्टि से आज का ये वैक्सपो इंडिया 2020 का एक इनिशिएटिव जो है बहुत कारगर साबित होगा, ऐसा मुझे पूरा विश्वास है, पूरा भरोसा है। हम हिमाचल प्रदेश की ओर से आप सबको शुभकामनाएं देते हैं, और खास तौर से जो प्रयास आप लोग इस तरह का इस संकट के दौर में कर रहे हैं, ये जो है वो स्वागत हो गया है। आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नमस्कार, जय हिंद।
And then the brief share on the new education initiatives under Modi ji's government. Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayan ji is an Indian politician and the 8th Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka. He is also the Minister of Higher Education, Information Technology and Biotechnology, Science and Technology and Skill Development, Entrepreneurship and Livelihood in the Government of Karnataka. He is a member of Karnataka Legislative Assembly representing BJP from Malleshwaram constituency, Bangalore, Karnataka. a qualified doctor, Ashwath Narayan Ji, has enabled introduction of health insurance schemes, pension schemes for widows, daycare centers for senior citizens, Center for Handicapped, Seva Kendras in each ward, Hasuru Sante, zero garbage, waste recycle, modernizing old establishments, etc. He started Padma Shri Charitable Trust and Shushruta Group of Institutions, which are running group of educational institutions which offers various courses in paramedic, management, science and technology, and Ayurvedic medical science. May we request the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Dr. Ashwath Narayan Ji, to deliver the inaugural address, please. Sir.
Good morning to all the dignitaries.
Good morning, sir.
At the outset, we Expo is organizing India's largest virtual show. On this occasion, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our Honorable Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, Shri Jairam Thakurji, whose presence has made a big difference, and a big message has been given to entire society across the country that the government of India and the government of Himachal and all the government across the country, we have given topmost priority for education, which is going to transform the entire country. The vision of our government of India under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, a new India needed a new education policy, which is going to strengthen and transform and empower the entire society across all the caste, creed, religion, languages, to overcome all the challenges, whatever been faced by the society. The solution and Sanjeevani is the new education policy, national education policy. The national education policy has been given, this is our third national education policy post-independence. And this policy has come, the third national education policy has come after 34 years of stagnation, which the society and the entire country was looking forward for the complete transformation from all the sectors, because at the present education was not addressing most of the requirements. So in this direction, the We Expo has taken up the true cause of prioritizing, promoting education by conducting Expo, bringing all the stakeholders under one platform to strengthen, to share with each other how things are happening across the world, across the country. By providing such a big platform, I congratulate We Expo founders, advisor, Dr. Narayan Swamy and Mr. Prem Anand, Jason Rajkumar, for taking up this cause. And as well as I acknowledge the presence of all the panelists who are here to talk about the national education policy. Without taking much of time, already our Honorable Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, Shri Jairam Thakurji, has addressed all the relevant issues regarding the national education policy, how it is going to change the entire scenario, what are the important features of the national education program. In this direction, the state government, the government of Karnataka, we strongly believe education is a way forward to address all the challenges what we have been facing. Through education, we are going to strengthen the entire system of the state and ensure that it will be the entire economy, the system will be driven by institution, and thereby bringing a big changes, a sustainable change in the entire society. It can be truly sustainable. Every aspiring person, every person's dream of achieving in life can be done through, that is only through the skill and education. So whatever might be the status, whatever might be the background, probably in his life, whatever he can do for the society, whatever transformation, whatever difference, or the challenges, whatever has been faced by the society, can be strongly addressed through the skill and education by adopting the technology and innovation, the enablement for which the state of Karnataka is very well known, and we have been strongly holding on to this area in future to ensure that the state of Karnataka and Bengaluru will be the leaders across the world in innovation and technology. By enablement, we are strongly pursuing under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Yediyurappa ji. In this direction, all the support, whatever required support required by all the sectors has been provided. And we have been strongly promoting the technology adoption or enablement in the education or health sector, in all the sectors, agriculture sector, all possible sectors, 360-degree in all the sectors we have been strongly promoting. So in this direction, few of the things what we have done in the state of Karnataka, we came out since our government formed from the past 16 months, we came out with a lot of new initiatives, new ideas, new solutions. For example, LMS Karnataka LMS Learning Management System. Through that, we are reaching out to each and every institution, each and every student is connected. The performance of the continuous comprehensive evaluation, what has been advised, what has been prescribed by the National Education Policy, taken up in the true spirit. Already we have started. But since this 2020 is a zero area and we are targeting 2021, for 2021, we are gearing up not only just the implementation of the National Education Policy in the true spirit, the enforcement, the implementation to the whatever extent achievability or the intentions or the vision or the mission of the National Education Policy will be taken up in the true spirit to implement in all the levels and bring in the transformation in the all kind of multidisciplinary, flexibility, autonomy, university, and starting of education from the pre-nursery, in all the aspect, collaboration, partnering, all the best possible resources will be completely put into use by each and every institution by the light and tight concept. In this direction, we are trying to bring all the legislation. We have formed a task force. Even before it was declared by Government of India, we are anticipating that National Education Policy is going to come, is going to become a reality. In this direction, we constituted a task force already 8 months back under the chairmanship of our former Chief Secretary to go about how to implement the National Education Policy in this direction. Already the report has been submitted by the task force. The implementation plan has been submitted to the government in the upcoming on the 7th of this month. The entire report will be accepted by the cabinet of the government of Karnataka, and will be going for the implementation plan. Already the implementation plan will be in place to how to ensure how fast we can take it up for the 2021 preparation. We have started in this direction. As our Honorable Chief Minister was mentioning, Dr. Kasturirangan is who is living in the city of Bengaluru and Karnataka. Under his chairmanship, the National Education Policy was drafted, and from the history, Karnataka is known as a pioneer in the field of education. So we continue to get that opportunity to keep up that pace or the focus in the higher education or the primary education. So under the chairmanship, most of the work was taken up in the Bengaluru, and all the drafting guidelines, all the policy, entire policy was designed in the Bengaluru and state of Karnataka. Since we being the, since our place being the place where all this drafting has happened, we have much more responsibility to take up and to ensure that we show the road path, the roadmap for the entire country, how things can be done in this direction. Probably it's a privilege and it's a challenge and it's a responsibility which we have taken gracefully to take this lead, and we'll work in this direction. Probably we have come up with a lot of initiatives and like LMS Karnataka, Unified University Management System and College Management System, revising of syllabus, aligning with the NSQF. See, most of the syllabus are not aligned with the NSQF. Even in the diploma, all programs, we are trying to align and ensure all the frameworks are taken up and integrated and relevant, and nothing like a rote learning will not be allowed. Critical learning will be taken up, conceptual learning will be allowed, and all possible things, whatever can be integrated in our entire education system, we give topmost priority and ensure that entire economy, all possible people will be productive on the pursuit of excellence. We need to compete with the entire world. it is not just competing with any of the neighbor state or any other just neighboring district or neighboring state. It doesn't matter. No, we need to compete with the entire world, fully understanding these challenges. We are working in this direction, and we are putting into use all the whatever available resource will be completely utilized. Let it be in industry, let it be any place. We'll ensure all the students will avail and benefit and utilize all the services, whatever infrastructure available will be put into maximum use. It has got no time limitation. Around the clock, we are going to make use of it, and enablement of the technology and the convergence of the cyberspace and physical space, entire IoT, AI, all possible robotics, automation, the entire thing will be taken up, and we'll proceed further and ensure the best things can be done, and we'll be willing to exchange or share our whatever progress has been made. Vice versa, we are willing to extend all our cooperation to all the states, whichever states require our cooperation. We'll be very happy through We Expo India. I'll be very, very happy to extend all possible cooperation to all my brothers, sister states to take up the education and the topmost priority, and whatever advancement or the progress been made in the state of Karnataka, we'll be sharing all the resource. Once again, I thank We Expo for organizing such a fantastic program and making a difference even in the challenging time of COVID. Probably most of them, they just keep quiet, keeping their fingers crossed, just watching for what needs to be done. Probably the We Expo group doesn't belong to that category, and you have taken up this challenge and you're trying to do your best. And I appreciate once again your initiative for coming up with India's largest virtual meet and expo. Thank you, one and all. Namaste. Once again, I thank our Honorable Chief Minister, Jairam Thakurji, for his presence, and all the panelists and all the founders, Narayan Swamiji, advisor, and all other dignitaries. Thank you, one and all. Namaste.
Thank you.
For the wishes and blessing and sharing with us the way forward of NAP. And I'm sure that the education fraternity, entire education fraternity, would be eagerly looking forward for the initiative which is happening after a span of 34 years. Thank you very much for that, sir. Now, may we request Brahmashri Dr. S.K. Narayanji to say a few words about the topic, please. Sir, please.
Namaste, everyone. Manya Mukhyamantri ji, जयराम जी नमस्ते, अश्विन जी नमस्ते। हमारा इनविटेशन आपके पास पहुंच गया, इमीडिएट आप लोग इसमें ज्वाइन किया। भगवान आपको सब अच्छा करेगा, सब ब्लेसिंग्स फ्रॉम गॉड साइड। हमारा सबका प्रार्थना आप लोग के लिए है। इतना अच्छा 2 स्टेट्स, इंडिया का 2 स्टेट्स, हिमाचल एंड कर्नाटका, ब्यूटीफुल स्टेट्स, उधर काम करने के लिए हमको मौका दिया आप लोग। हम लोग उधर पहुंचेगा, एक एक दिन आप लोग का एक स्टूडेंट्स को कैसे करना है, क्या करना है, आप लोग का डायरेक्शन के लिए वी आर वेटिंग। आप लोग ये प्रोग्राम में अटेंड किया। मोदी जी का, हमारा माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी का इच्छा क्या है, 60 इयर्स डिफरेंट पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज हमारा इंडिया को रूलिंग कर दिया, वो लोग का इच्छा दूसरा था। मगर नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी आने के बाद एजुकेशन सिस्टम में इतना ज्यादा डिफरेंट चेंजेस लेके आ रहे, उसका सबका आपका लोग का सपोर्ट से, डिफरेंट स्टेट का सपोर्ट से बहुत बड़ा नेक्स्ट जनरेशन के लिए बहुत बड़ा मौका दे रहे हमारा गवर्नमेंट। उसके लिए आप लोगों का सपोर्ट इतना ट्रेमेंडस हम लोग को दे दिया। वी एक्सपो टीम का बारे में, मेरा बारे में, भगवान की इच्छा से सब लोग अच्छा रहने दो, सब ब्लेसिंग्स अगेन एंड अगेन, सब लोग अच्छा।
Now it's time for a panel discussion on the topic New Education Policy and Overview. The session will be chaired by the Honorable Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, Shri Jairam Thakurji, and Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayanji. Mr. Jason would be moderating the session. In the panel, we have a respective education fraternity, Ms. Sunita Rao, Mr. Prasad Rao from Paramita Group, Telangana, Ms. Anupama Nirmala, ACT Group, Bangalore, Mr. Vikas Surana, Executive Member, CBSE School Management Association. Over to Mr. Jason, please.
Thank you, Bindu ma'am. Thank you, Dr. S.K. Narayanan sir. माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी, वी एक्सपो और मेरी एंटायर टीम की ओर से हमारा प्रणाम। और मैं आपका धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूँ ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ माय एंटायर टीम कि आपने, ये हमारे लिए बहुत सम्मान की बात है कि आपने हमारा आमंत्रण स्वीकार किया और आज हमारे साथ जुड़ के नई शिक्षा नीति के बारे में और हिमाचल में एजुकेशन का जो कंट्रीब्यूशन हो रहा है इसके बारे में हमें सुनने का एक अवसर दिया। बहुत बहुत आभारी रहें और धन्यवाद सर। थैंक यू। And I'd like to welcome all our panelists today. We have an elite list of school leaders with us, most of them that I've met, some I have not. I'd like to start by inviting Dr. Prasad Rao, the chairman of Paramita Group of Schools. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and being on the panel today. Sunita ma'am, good morning from BPS Hyderabad. So good to see you again. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Anupa ma'am, special thanks to you. I know it was a last minute invitation, but I'm really grateful that you accepted it and you're in the panel today. Welcome. Vikas Surana sir, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. It's good to have you at the panel. And I personally know that all the elite list of panelists are really experts when it comes to core domain of education. And in terms of the new educational policy, I really think that the panel is much more knowledgeable than the moderator today. So we would have loved to moderate the session by posing different questions, but then as we have already discussed, I think it'll be better if I leave the stage to the panelists and request you to put forward your point of view in terms of how the implementation of NEP is happening in the grassroots and your point of view. So I'd like to invite Mr. Prasad Rao to start the discussion. Sir, I'm sorry, I think you're on mute.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jason. Respected Sri Jairam Thakurji, Chief Minister, Himachal Pradesh, Ashwath Narayanji, Deputy Chief Minister, Karnataka State, then Narayan Swamiji, Mr. Jason, and my fellow panelists, and all the educationists. First, let me congratulate WeExpo India 2020 for organizing this wonderful session. And after having listened to both the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister, I have begun to feel that today the politicians are no longer politicians. They are thinking deeply into education because it is such a spectrum that requires effort from all the directions. And I'm extremely happy to the way they have actually explained what they've been doing in their own states, Himachal Pradesh and Karnataka. Having said that, what is the time, Jason, for me?
Sir, you can take about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes.
Thank you. So this national education policy, which actually is going to be a big threshold in the country. There have been many, revolutions, like green revolution and like that, a couple of industrial revolutions, including your cyber revolution. But this particular document is definitely going to be a big game changer. I have been witness to confabulations, discussions happening across the country. For the first time in the country, people are seen discussing, people connected with education, not so connected with education, and that augurs well for the nation. This is my point number one. And how prepared are we as a nation to invite and welcome this National Education Policy 2020? Of course, there are challenges. challenges in terms of our mindset. The mindset change is a big challenge, especially not at the child level, at the adult level, that is the teacher and the parent. And the teachers have been doing a great job in this country. Absolutely, there's no doubt about that. But again, what is required by this NEP is how far you are able to unlearn and then start relearn in order to facilitate holistic learning. Because the document speaks voluminously about equitable and inclusive education. That's very, very important thing. And they say about holistic education and holistic report card. And again, and also speaks about the challenge, the opportunities given to the girls across the country, and the dropouts should be limited. That's another important dimension that is contained in this national education policy, with even breakfast being given to the kids across the country. And I'm also really happy that there is a public school complex system that has been actually advised by the committee. That's a very, very good idea. And also special educational zones, like you have got special economic zones, they also talk about special education zones. And I think by 2030, they have actually fixed certain objectives for this thing, that by 2030, as far as the teacher training is concerned, there should be only 4-year teacher training course, then only such candidates will be accepted. And second point, as far as the teacher training is concerned, they also say that every year, every teacher must undergo 50 hours of training period. That's very important. It should be continuous, ongoing educational training for in-service teachers. On the whole, I say it's a big topic, but I think a good beginning has been made. Even schools are now looking forward to start working in the project-based learning mode, including holistic perspective of education. So our children are ready, and the teachers, managements, government and private, and the parents in the community and the governments, we all need to come together, collaborate, and ensure that this is possible. To me, I think it may be a little difficult, but given a chance and given the will on the part of the rulers, on the part of the teachers, and I think definitely this NEP is going to be a big, big game changer. In the next 10 to 15 years, you will see our kids, growing very well, phenomenally, not only in the Indian soil, but also across the seas. Thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you, Prasad sir. It's always a pleasure listening to you. I've had the privilege of working with you around some of these areas when it comes to concept learning and experiential learning. Thank you so much for your valuable insights. Moving on, I'd like to invite Sunita ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Jason. Honorable Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, respected Vice Chancellor of University of Madras, Shri S.K. Narayan ji, Mr. Jason, Chief Operating Officer of VExpo India, eminent members on this webinar. I'm indeed greatly honored for this opportunity to share my insights on the new educational policy 2020 as a practitioner. In fact, it's a policy that addresses most of the needs that we as educators were visualizing over a period of a decade. And it also serves to reconfirm the efforts being put in by progressive schools like some of ours, and provides a new model or a direction and support system for schools which are yet to get on board the guidelines given by NEP. And if I have to speak as a practitioner, I must say, the advocacy of the NEP, if actually applied in a school situation, has amazing impacts on the child and the learner. Starting from the preschool to grade 12, the kind of integration of subjects that's happening in today's world, where it's amazing to see a child learning the concepts of business studies by adopting a company, learning the concepts of accountancy by taking up a case study. I have a child who recites a poem and paints. Then the way the children integrate music and art forms to learn the concepts of math and English. It's no longer subjects taught in silos. It's no longer taught in isolation. The child is making connections, and I think this is very important. When a child learns to, first of all, when the child understands a concept with deep understanding, and secondly, relates it and makes connections to the real world, and also makes connections across subjects, believe me, the application of this knowledge that they gain is going to be exclusive. And I feel a child who goes through this kind of an educational system will be a self-governed learner. They're slow and steady moving from the dependent learner system of education to becoming an independent learner. I just now this morning, I had a program in school where on the online mode, the class 1 child was the master of ceremonies. Imagine the confidence galore and the kind of communicative skills and how the child is able to integrate technology and the platforms, adapt to new norms. Otherwise, in today's COVID world, I don't think we could have seamlessly moved from a physical school to an online school if we schools are not instilling the right skills in our children. And NEP has all of these initiated, and all of these advised and given to us beautifully. And I'm sure the kind of choices that NEP is providing, the kind of, I must say, introduction of vocational courses, because we at school have adopted AI, IT, and foundational literacy, and financial management. All of these subjects which normally were spoken about in the university level, today if a stage 9 child and a class 6 child is going to be talking about them and relating to them. The introduction to coding and computational skills in the young learner stages, I'm sure is going to greatly prepare this child for the global challenges. And that's making a lot of difference. We're actually excited about what NEP holds, because in this 2 to 3 minutes, I can really, and we've had the honorable members speak about the NEP guidelines in its true sense. It's impossible to talk about the structure and the model that one can create. We as educators are highly excited about what we can offer our children and how we can prepare them for the complex world out there, and make them, on one hand, a global citizen, and on the other, a lifelong learner who takes responsibility for oneself. Mr. Jason, to tell me if I have more time, because there's so much to say.
Ma'am, I understand, and it's actually unfortunate that we could manage only such a short amount of time.
Thank you for that.
But I look forward to organizing another detailed panel, because this is something which is really exciting, and we'd like to run it across our community. So I will certainly come back.
My pleasure.
A detailed discussion. And thank you so much for your inputs. Thank you, ma'am. I'd like to invite Anupa, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm a big follower of all your posts on LinkedIn, and I'm sure you have lots to say. So without much ado, I leave the floor open to you.
Thanks, Jason. I'm putting a timer so that I don't go overboard. I would like to thank you, Jason, and everyone else at WeExpo for this wonderful opportunity to share my insights on the new education policy, 2020 National Education Policy, And I really feel honored and privileged to be in the presence and on the same platform as all these ministers and dignitaries here. So many important people. Even though I have been a teacher for my entire professional life, I still consider myself a baby in the field. So I really feel honored to be here on this platform. And I will keep my insights to the areas that I work within, which are the implications that the NEP has on low-income private schools and early childhood education, basic numeracy and literacy skills, and special education. And I must add here that I'm still trying to get around the whole policy, trying to make sense of it all and trying to understand it fully. But here are my thoughts. As everybody else, I was totally blown away when I read the NEP first. What an amazing document. I was wowed by the great vision that it had. And to acknowledge the fact that the NEP has given us a vision and a framework to work within and towards, and definitely has given us something to think about. It is really making a progressive shift towards the quality of education, and it can be a real game changer for children. So a few highlights that really struck me when I first read the document is that it promises universal access to quality education for children from 3 to 18 years. And this will mean that all children will, be eligible to receive quality education, irrespective of their socioeconomic background. This is something that's very, very close to my heart, and it makes me so happy to think that even children from marginalized communities who cannot afford a paid education will have access to schools. It also covers the importance of foundational learning and early childhood education. It has said that, it's going to work on curriculum and give importance to foundational learning so that the retention in schools later on will be good. So this is a great thing. Another great thing is equity and gender sensitization and gender equality, and that they're going to give great importance to girls and women. That's a great thing. Disability, which is another thing that's very, very close to my heart. This has been given a lot of importance. Standardization of sign language, awareness and knowledge of how to teach children with specific disabilities. This is great. And as someone else mentioned, the holistic, integrated, enjoyable and engaging learning that it promises. So this is absolutely wonderful. A few things that worry me a bit is that the timelines for teacher recruitment are not very clear in the NEP, and so many vacancies need to be filled within a specific timeline. Teacher capacities, how are we going to manage that? I speak from the capacity of managing a few schools across the country. So how are we going to manage that? Language also seems to be a negative factor. It has said, I'm a big believer in mother tongue education, but I have a problem with it in a cosmopolitan city like Bangalore, where there are so many languages that coexist together. How are we going to address this issue? What language are we going to pick to teach the children in school? That's another thing. And so I think I'm running out of time, but I would just like to say that I would like to end with the words of Shukla Bose, someone I admire a lot, who's the CEO of Parikrama Humanity Foundation. And I think she was also a part of the whole implementation, not implementation, in the making of this NEP. She said, it is our responsibility to transform our country by implementing an ambitious education plan that is progressive and inclusive. This is not the time to get caught in political battles over language. That's what she said. So I just want to end with that. It's exciting for all of us in the industry, and we look forward to great things. And even though there's going to be a major shift in systems, thought processes, mindsets, and large amounts of money, I think we all need to work together towards the child. At the end of the day, it's all for the child. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for that crisp and enriching input on NEP. Vikas sir, moving on to you. Last but not the least, sir, I think you need to unmute yourself. Mr. Vikas. Yes, Vikas.
As my co-panelist Ms. Anupa was talking, that she was really wowed by the whole policy, the document. In fact, when the teachers also went through this and they attended a few sessions, they were really happy. They were very excited to see this happening. Team at Vidyasagar institutions, we always believed that finally the heart rules the mind. Until now, our education system has been working only on the mind. It has not worked on the heart. It's not worked on the willpower. It's not worked on all these things, which is more important in driving what we learn, which is the mind. And with the importance being given to the performing arts, fine arts, the sports, and all those things, which is being given importance in this education policy, we are ensuring that our children are better prepared to take up the issues that they might face in the world when they come up for their real life. as much as I'm happy or excited to see what all these things have been given importance in the new education policy, one thing which I'm a little not sure about is we still don't have that ecosystem or that support system to ensure that all these things are being taught well in our schools with this new education policy. We may, assume that at least until we have that ecosystem, we have enough of those these colleges, these fine art, performing arts, and sports colleges, and all those things coming in bigger numbers. Until then, our teachers who are interested in all those things may manage for a few time, for the time being, to manage the gap. But ultimately, you need experts or specialists who specialize in teaching all these things to ensure that our children are having a holistic growth, which this policy envisions, and to ensure that our children have that holistic growth, which Ms. Anupa was and the principal of DPS was talking just now. I have raised this point in a few forums where the policy framers, the people who have framed this policy and the CBSE senior people were there to ensure that this voice reaches the concerned people. But still, because we have the two chief ministers and the University of Madras vice chancellor here, I would request them to again reach this point of view to the people concerned to ensure that the ultimate objective of whatever this policy was, the implementation also becomes such that we are able to achieve that objective. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikas sir. Thank you, all the panelists. I'm once again, I think we are running very short on time, but then I would really like to thank each one of our panelists for being so accommodative. And I know the discussion is far from over, so I really look forward to reaching out to you all and putting together a detailed session pretty soon. And special congratulations from myself and my entire team. We strongly believe that as educators and teachers and school leaders, I think you're all pretty much one of the most important frontline warriors amidst the pandemic. I see my own children sitting across online classes, and I can imagine each of your lives in ensuring coordinating with teachers and a whole lot of other things just to ensure that the learning never stops for the child. So kudos to all the effort, and with deep respect, we'd like to thank each one of you all. From VExpo India, our mission is to create a community of students and educators, and we already have partnered with close to 1,000 odd schools across the South states. And this community thrives on a lot of knowledge sharing, a lot of collaboration can take place. And, in a short panel with just 5 or 7 of us, if so much of information can be shared, then if I build a community which comprises of all the schools in the country, the amount of knowledge that is available is phenomenal, and I think there is a great opportunity to channelize this knowledge and put a structure to the collaboration. I think that's our business model, and we would talk to you more about it, and we would love to partner with each one of your institutions. Once again, thank you each one of you for taking your precious time out, and we look forward to getting in touch back with you pretty soon. Thank you so much. Have a good day, and stay safe, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Mr. Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vikas.